Hey, everybody, and we are live with another episode of Hot Jobs, where Tara and I share the week's hottest jobs, internships, and career search advice, typically for the military veteran and military spouse community. Thanks for joining us, everybody, today. We are excited to share a couple new jobs or a couple new opportunities and some great advice. Tara, how is the weather out there in Chicago?
So actually, Mike, today is pretty nice. We have had anyone in the Midwest or in the Chicagoland area will tell you we've had such a wet spring so far. And spring is always really ambiguous here. It's usually just cold until it's hot. So I can't say that it's warm here today, but it's not raining. And we did see a little bit of sun. So we're going to count that as a win. We've been having crazy thunderstorms here.
Yeah, it's been kind of overcast and rainy all day here. So, it's one of those days to just kind of stay inside and,
Yeah. Yeah.
recover, get a lot of work done. So,
Yeah.
um, and hopefully watch some of our sports teams win. I will tell you, Monday night was not a good night for Sixers or Flyers fans, but hopefully we're able to turn that around tonight.
Yeah.
So for everybody joining us, I do want to thank our partners at Veteran Service Brands, VSB. So Veteran Service Brands is a national franchising organization that every franchise partner has to be a veteran. And that's what I love about it. So they've got different options all over the country. They've got G-Force parking lot striping, which sounds like, until you realize those stripes have to basically be repainted every 2 to 3 year. And it's not as easy as it looks, including they also put in wheel stops. They put in those barriers. They change signage and everything. So they do asphalt, surfacing and stuff like that. So G-Force, you've got Paint Corps, which is national commercial and residential painting. I know that if I'm getting my house painted and I had to hire someone and all things are considered, one of them's a veteran, I'm always picking the veteran. They've got Field Ops Athletic Striping, which also does the pickleball phenomenon. And I've seen some great things now where they're installing these rollout pickleball courts. So it's a surface they put on top of a big open area that turns it into a pickleball court. And then you've got Mach 1 epoxy floors. Some of you may have heard that our CEO, Nick Gismondi, got his done by the Mach 1 team. And they had done an amazing job. He'd gotten it done when he bought his house, and it was all getting it was falling apart because they didn't install it correctly. So the Mach 1 team did it, and they basically get a lifetime guarantee. So if you're interested in Veteran Service Brands, I will tell you, starting a business could be scary for many people, but if you want to do it and you want to have the support of 100, 150 other veterans around you that you can call for questions, answers, information, or help doing something, I would definitely check out Veteran Service Brands. I've spent 2 weeks of my life at conferences with the VSB team, and I've come away just with my cup filled every time. Like, not just they filled my cup with, drinks, but actually from having to spend some amazing time with fellow veteran business owners. So check out Veteran Service Brands. And if you're interested, you can always check them out at hiremilitary.us. All right, we got some topics. Go ahead.
You're gonna actually be talking to one of the owners of a franchise next month. So Everyone mark your calendars for early June as we bring that to you live.
That will be office hours off of my page, but we'll make sure we promote it ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I did want to, so if you are joining us, what I would love to hear is what type of job you're looking for if you're a job seeker and where you'd want to do it. And then other than that, let us know where you're dialing in from and if you have any questions. This is big. So you've got us for the better part of 30 minutes. You can ask us any transition questions, any resume, job seeker, starting a business, any advice, networking, LinkedIn, whatever. And Tara and I will do our best to answer them live. So just drop them in the comments and we will get to them. Now, a couple topics. Yesterday, I was blessed to have coffee with retired Vice Admiral Rick Cheeseman. He was the Chief of Navy Personnel, retired a little less than a year ago. He was in the area. We met up for coffee, and just so amazing to get to spend a couple hours chatting with this retired 3-star that led all naval personnel, and just a genuine human being. And we were talking about, life after the military. And it was really interesting. And I've seen a bunch of posts on this topic later. He doesn't want a 40-hour job. He doesn't want a full-time job. He's got his retirement check. He's got savings. He's got some boards he's working on. And people have reached out on opportunities. And he's looking at each one and saying, hey, do I want to invest the time into that? And he said he's been working on his house. They're redoing their backyard. He's going to Phillies games. He's a fellow Philadelphia sports fan. And I just loved it. And to see how happy he was and how well he's doing. And I want people to factor in lifestyle in their next career choice. For me, I don't want to just retire. I would lose my mind, at least where I'm at in my life. I want to do something fairly active. But I want people to realize if you want a 6-figure salary, there come 6-figure requirements. If you want the big executive role, there come the executive requirements. And if you don't want that, that's okay. Figure out what the right balance is for you. And the last part is my buddy Jose Velasquez posted about people are asking, what do I miss if I retire at 62 instead of 65? And he said, well, it's not an extra calculator exercise, or it's not a numbers thing. I said, well, maybe it is for some. People have their own desires. You have to figure out what's important to you. I know a lot of people that have retired and died within a year afterwards. And I know a bunch of people that have retired and are living just their best life afterwards. It's all about individual desires. Does that make sense, Tara?
Yeah, I think, what you're saying, Mike, is you kind of have to weigh the cost of your time, right? Is it your time? And I kind of was coming back to this quote, and I think I'm going to attribute it to Oprah, but I don't know that that's accurate. So don't fact check me on this one. You can have it all, but not at the same time, right? So,
yeah.
If your priority is to spend more time with your family, you're probably not looking for a job that is going to require 40 to 60 hours of your time. You're not going to be able to, have that quality time with your family. And like you said, Mike, if you're looking for a salary that's 6-figure plus, you probably won't be able to be super flexible, go to sporting events with your children or go see your kids' school play, or so competing priorities, there's only so much pie. And so how much slice of your pie is going to be your career, your profession, or what you do after, active duty service, and how much of it will be other things, hobbies, friends, family, traveling, working on your home. There's always only, 8 slices of a pizza, right?
I love it.
How many slices are you dedicating to each thing?
Yeah, if you can eat the whole pie, you're going to be fat. So you don't want to try to do that all at once.
Or it might not be as satisfying as you think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great point. So speaking of satisfying, our CEO, Nick Gizmani, and I are going to SOF Week, the week of 17 to 21 May down in Tampa. This is the International SOF Week, so they'll be doing all kinds of demos. Nick is a retired SOF operator. And, I went down last year and was just blown away by the community down there and the event. So we'll be excited to go down there. Keep an eye out for us. Let us know if you're going to be down there. We'd love to chat with you. We will be at the opening social, which is at I think it's the Pier or the Wharf at 6 p.m. So got our tickets to that, and then we'll be there the whole week. So excited to get to meet a lot of you. And spend some time down there. I will not be bringing my suits as I did, or my sport coats as I did last year. I was sweating my behind off down there in Tampa in May. That was not fun. So, but we're definitely looking forward to it. And good afternoon to you as well, Angelo. So next thing, just talking about the transition. I run into a lot of senior military leaders that say they don't have time to transition, right? Mission. I got to take care of this. I got to take care of that. And what I have to explain to everybody is that the exact day you leave your unit never misses you. You just keep rolling. The military will keep going. Your unit will not fail. The next person will step up and they will fill the role. And many of them will be like, I'm glad they're gone, so now I can do it my way. And so I want people to understand that they have to find balance in the 1 to 2 years before they get out. where they make sure that they're not just doing the mission, that they're also taking care of themselves. And that's finding opportunities, maybe delegate something to somebody on your team, give them a chance to shine, and making sure you carve off time to do your transition. Now, this is not saying be retired on active duty, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do after hours, you can do on weekends as well. But to find the balance that enables you to still take care of the mission and develop your team and also prepare for your transition. And the last thing I'll say on this before I pass it over to Tara is that if you fancy yourself to be such a good servant leader, you should have been coaching, teaching, and mentor your team to do it without you, preparing the next future of leaders. What do you think, Tara?
Yeah, so Mike, you know that I'm a pretty competitive runner. I've run multiple marathons. One of the things that my coach told me when I was running the Chicago Marathon a couple of years ago was you can't start too slow, right? And I think what we hear from transition service members is can't start too early, right? You got to be thinking with that forward mindset of I need to start networking, asking questions, preparing. Maybe that looks like taking some notes. Maybe that looks like spending 5 minutes introducing yourself to a new person. Maybe that's taking 10 minutes to make sure you're mentoring the next person in line or succession, or taking care of yourself. So I will equate that to my experience. You can't start too slow. You can't really start too early, even if that's your internal work, right?
And I love that, because I've seen serve career opportunities in the military because of their online presence, because the senior leaders are on there as well. So all the GOs, many of the GOs and admirals are on there. They're not posting, but they're looking. And so you could actually start 3-4 years out, 5 to 10 minutes a day on LinkedIn, maybe set up a call a week to learn more about what's going on. And by the time you hit, you are golden. That is a great point. I think we have a question here. It's a long one. So I've submitted nearly 100 applications across process management, healthcare operations, workforce strategy, training, analytics, and it's been a humbling process. What I do know is that my background is strongest where operations, people, and improvement come together. I'm staying after it. If you know roles, okay, hold on. So there's no such thing as a job that's process management, healthcare operations, workforce strategy, training, and analytics. So Kevin, that doesn't exist. And then the next thing is that there's no job that's where operations, people, and improvement come together unless you go to an operations management role in a distribution center, which you should check into if you want to do that. I think the key is that you have submitted such a wide aperture of roles, and I am highly doubting that you are a best candidate based on a tailored resume for every one of those 100 roles. So what I would encourage you to do is attend my Mastering LinkedIn webinar. It's on the 28th, I believe. Yep, the 28th of this month. You can Google USO MVP to learn how to do it. You could attend my LinkedIn Premium exclusive event, since it appears you have Premium, which will be on my profile, published tomorrow, but it'll be open at noon Eastern time on May 27th. And let's teach you how to reach out to people and do the career exploration so that you know which one of those fields that you really want to go to, what people in those jobs do, and how to show them the relevant experience in your background that is jump off the page, they're a best candidate. Because if you have if you're hiring contractors, you got a plumber, you got a plumbing issue, and you have someone that comes in and says, I'm a general contractor. Of course I do a little bit of plumbing. And you have someone that comes in and says, I'm a carpenter, but I know how to do plumbing. And you have someone that comes in and says, I'm a plumber. I'm certified. I'm in the union. I have insurance for plumbing, and I've fixed those exact plumbing issues in the past. Who are you hiring, right? It's the same thing with job search, Kevin. You got to kind of tailor it in, know what you're looking for, highlight your experience appropriately, and then you'll find your success. Your thoughts on that, Tara?
I think, Kevin, you've identified where you think you're the strongest. I would double down on that. Double down on what you think you're best at and explore in that particular area.
Love it. And one of the things that I shared was, excuse me, networking every day. The world revolves around relationships. Whenever I run into a roadblock, I am able to find my way to success. I was having trouble getting our lodging reservation set up for the upcoming event. I sent an email I sent a note to someone I knew. They connect me to another person, boom, fixed. The same thing goes for most things in my life, both personally and professionally. But that is because I network every day. For the last 9 years, I've been growing my network every day. And so I would encourage you all, especially when it comes to job seeking, when it comes to career advancement, when it comes to just life in general, you should invest a certain amount of time every day to network. And I always have my LinkedIn 10-5-3 rule that will enable you to do it in 5 to 10 minutes a day. So every day you send out or accept 10 connection requests. You do a search. I want to connect with people in recruiting. Connect. Done. Right? Every day you scroll through your feed, you find a post that resonates with you, and you drop a like and a comment. A few words, that's a positive comment on the post. And that brings your network that you've connected with together with you organically. And then 3 times a week, you post something, anything that's you, or a thought or an idea or something like that on LinkedIn, which pulses your network to let them know you're still on the platform, what you've been up to see your smiling face. That's how everyone in your network starts to see what you do. They get to feel like they know you. That's why so many people feel like they know me. They come up at events and like, hey, Mike, how's it going? They totally feel like they know me. And I'm like, it's awesome. It's great. And they're like, oh, you don't know me. I'm this, but they know me because every day I post. And so I want people to dedicate a short amount of time every day to growing their network, personally and professionally. If you work in an office, get up every day for 5 minutes and go talk to someone new. Not to tell them what you're doing, to learn what they did on the weekend, or to learn, what their favorite sports team is, or how their kids are doing, or whatever. If you do that, you will find your success. And then with that, Tara, I am passing this over to you for jobs. Sounds like I have a dishwasher getting delivered early. So let's knock out those jobs and then take it from there.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to be focused on 2 SkillBridge roles today, both at our friends at Texas Instruments. Now, I'm going to be talking about these roles for a couple of reasons. Number one of them is new. We talked about it briefly last week, and we got some really great applicants. So I'm excited to be able to present more applicants for this role, which is the Junior Cloud Engineer. So the Junior Cloud Engineer requires 3 years of hands-on experience with ideally AWS GovCloud, okay? Or another federal cloud environment. But that cloud experience is really crucial to this role at Texas Instruments because that is one of the main requirements that they will be using during their SkillBridge. So we're looking for someone that has experience with cloud security, network security, and infrastructure automation. So remember, this is a SkillBridge role. You do have to currently be active duty and approaching your last 180 days of service. This particular role is going to be taking place at their Texas location. So Dallas, Texas is where this is going to be located. SkillBridge. If you think this is something you'd be interested in, you have all of the information on our website. So you can certainly go to our website that's scrolling at the bottom, hiremilitary.us. You can also reach out to me directly if you think that you're a best candidate and have questions about the role, but it is on our job board and it's called a Junior Cloud Engineer at Texas Instruments. So next, I'm going to be talking about the equipment tech role. This is also at Texas Instruments, but there are 2 locations. So we have the Dallas location and Lehi, Utah. So what I'm looking for this particular role for the equipment technician is 3 years of hands-on experience in a technical or maintenance role. So this could be something is of the previous SkillBridge interns that we've had in this role have been machinist mate, but anything that has a technical aptitude and at least 3 years of experience. So that can be electrical, that can be mechanical, anyone who has been able to identify and improve equipment performance, that is the main function of this role, and someone who is good at troubleshooting electrical or mechanical systems. Again, this is at both locations. The equipment tech is at Dallas and at the Lehi location for Texas Instrument. We are looking for starts in September of 26, as well as we are starting to fill positions for 2027. So if you feel like either in the next 6 months or the next 12 months, you'd be interested in this, we are starting to slot those early 2027 positions as well. So it's not early to reach out and gauge your interest. Again, if you want to read those full job descriptions on our website, just above us here, highriskmilitary.us, it's under the SkillBridge section for Texas Instruments.
And I'm such a huge fan of these opportunities. They treat everybody well.
They really do. They also have a veteran organization within Texas Instrument. I know when people interview for SkillBridge, one of the questions I get pretty frequently is, is this a veteran-friendly organization? And will there be other people who understand my transition there? And I think that's a great question to ask. And I also, when we bring on new SkillBridge partners, I ask that question. Do you have an organization at your company that helps veterans, or is there a veteran group? So I love to see that. So they do have a veteran organization. You can also learn about that particular organization at Texas Instrument on their website. So I think that's important. There is a cohort of people who have been where you've been. Ooh.
Yeah, I took that down. That was a mistake that I played that.
That was a mistake.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so I think these are great opportunities at Texas Instruments. Many have gone on to be full-time employees for TI with great things to say. So I'm excited about these roles. They've also really increased their presence at career fairs on the installation site. So if you are on base right Instruments, and you are more than welcome to talk to their representatives about those opportunities.
I love it.
Yeah.
Did you have any other you wanted to share, Tara?
I did just want to share, so last week we did an office hour with our point of contact at Cribble, Robbie, who really gave some great career advice, just overall career advice for transitioning service members. So if you didn't catch that, it is on our Hire Military page. You can go back and rewatch it. I have a couple of clips that I'm going to be sharing as well, but I think, one of the things we talk a lot about, Mike, as we were kind of alluding to in the beginning of our episode, just putting in the effort. And so one of the things that Robbie shared, and again, he's a hiring manager. This is not coming from us. That's why I love office hours, right? We talk about this stuff all the time, but you can hear it right from industry is, and I've talked about this before as well, Cribble has their own certifications on Cribble University, and they're completely free for everyone. And he said, to be a standout candidate, I would love if someone came in and say, hey, I'm in the process of getting this free certification. The level user is only 8 hours. And so one of the things I shared, Mike, was the average adult spends at least 4 hours on their phone, at least 4 hours of screen time. So even if you just reduce that by 50%, not even all of it, just 50%, which we know is just scrolling, right? You have to do some things on your phone. You have to check your email, maybe make some phone calls, checking on some friends and family. But a lot of that time is just wasted. You could get that certification in maybe a week and a half.
That's
right? And that makes you a best candidate to be a hire. I mean, your next opportunity is like one action away. So, I love to hear that advice from Robbie. So if you did miss that and you're interested in the SaaS space or in Cribble, or you just want to hear some more career advice from industry, then I really highly recommend you checking out that recording last week.
I love it. And I share with our veteran service brands team that we were the ones that placed the chief operating officer with veteran service brands. And so the CEO wanted someone to be a COO, and he was getting applications from colonels, E9s at 4-star commands, like all these senior military leaders. And there was a gunnery sergeant from Marine Corps recruiting that applied and then called up some of the local franchise partners. So Jay Sperry called up the franchise partners and said, I'm applying for this job. Could I come out to your work site and help for free and just learn more about what you do? And he did that for, I think, 2, maybe 3 different franchises. And so they got to the interview. I think he was the first or second interview. They interviewed like 2 other people and they said, stop. We're not interviewing any more people. Jay's our guy. We're comparing everyone to Jay and it's nowhere close. And so the key is he put in the work, and
Yeah.
that helps you stand out. So, when it comes to applying for roles that you love, jumping out and doing that little bit of extra work to earn their certification or understand their company or talk to their people. When you get to the interview phase, past the initial apply online phase, it's not just can they do the job. The real thing you're looking for is what kind of culture fit or culture add they're going to be to the team. And so he's still there. He got promoted actually. He started out for just G-Force. Now he's the COO for all of Veteran Service Brands, and he's knocking it out of the park. I couldn't be happier for him. So just make sure you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, and with that, he went a little bit out of his way, right? Was it inconvenient for him? Probably, right? It was probably a little bit inconvenient. It took a little bit of his time. He wasn't paid. He had no idea that this would work or not work.
Mm-hmm.
But he invested in what he thought was a strategy that would make him stand out, and maybe not even stand out, maybe just to have a better understanding and speak more educatedly during the interview conversation. Because if nothing else, it would make him memorable.
And none of that is, when you think about it, none of that experience is wasted.
No.
He's going to learn something when he's there anyway, and it'll make him a better candidate wherever down the road. So that is fantastic.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, Tara, we are rapidly approaching 30 minutes. There will be a dishwasher coming through my background any second. I would prefer not to be live on camera with everybody when it happens. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays with Hot Jobs. Please join us, and don't forget to check out the opportunities listed on hiremilitary.us. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, bye.